Second day of international webinar on advances in digital additive manufacturing conducted by the Department of Mechanical Engineering of MBITS, Kothamangalam, Kerala. So it's nice to see everyone back, and today is going to be even a better session. So yeah, let's get started. So I hereby invite our dear principal, a man who doesn't need an introduction at all, Dr. Sojan, to welcome the gathering. Here, over to you, sir.
Start the program with a silent prayer for 1 minute, please. Thank you all. And actually, I'm very much honored and having immense pleasure on today for being the second day of the international webinar on advances in digital additive manufacturing. And today we have our keynote speaker, Dr.Y.Ravikumar sir from NIT Warangal. Sir, welcome, sir, to this program. Along with us, all our participants, heads of departments, and the coordinators from the Mechanical Engineering Department of MBITS, we are all welcome. It's really an immense pleasure for me to see that Mechanical Engineering Department is hosting another disruptive technology by which I'm sure that students as well as faculty members who are joined here will be enriched to see the various opportunities in research, entrepreneurship, as well as joining with various industries. And also on the previous day, Dr. Chandrasekhar sir, as well as our previous speaker, Dr.C.P. Paul sir, has given an introduction about these topics. I'm sure that today Ravikumar sir will enlighten further on this topic because it's a vast topic and definitely it will be useful for us. And again, by having this sort of webinars, I request all the participants, students, faculty members, entrepreneurs, and engineers who are all here, take our nation forward in this direction so that the scope of this topic, additive manufacturing, is so immense. Wishing you all the best for the programs for here today. And once again, welcoming all of you for this program. And thank you once again for the Mechanical Engineering Department for coordinating this. Over to Ganesh, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the warm welcome. Now, nothing compares to the feeling of learning things you're excited about firsthand from the person who has dedicated a great deal of time, energy, and hard work into mastering the art. Today, we are extremely fortunate to have Dr. Ravikumar to talk about additive manufacturing technology in medical applications. So talking about Dr. Ravikumar, he's currently Associate Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at National Institute of Technology, Warangal. He obtained his BTech degree in Mechanical Engineering from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University of Kakinada in 2000, Master of Engineering, ME in Computer Integrated Manufacturing from PSG College, Coimbatore, and in 2002, and he got his PhD in Mechanical Engineering from Osmania University of Hyderabad in 2011. He did his postdoctoral research in 3D printing at Milwaukee University, Milwaukee School of Engineering in USA in 2012. He has supervised more than 30 MTech projects and produced 4 PhDs and guiding more PhD theses, 4 more PhD theses. He has published more than 60 research papers in national and international conferences and journals. He has filed 1 international patent and 2 Indian patents in the area of 3D printing. He is instrumental in setting up rapid prototyping laboratory at NIT Warangal. He started MTech program in additive manufacturing in collaboration with Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, CMTI, in Bangalore, and that's the first of its kind in India. He has established a world-class metal 3D printing facility at NIT Warangal under TechCube 3 grant. He has conducted more than 15 training programs across India and trained around 900 participants in the area of 3D printing. He received Young Engineer of the Year 2009 award from the Government of Andhra Pradesh and the Institute of Engineers, India. He has executed sponsored R&D projects worth 1.24 crore rupees in the area of 3D printing. And above all, he's a lifetime member of IST, Institution of Engineers, and RPSI societies. With all that said, it's now our rare opportunity to hear what he has planned for us. I wholeheartedly welcome Dr. Ravikumar for the keynote address. We are really excited about it. Looking forward to it. And warm welcome, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, very good morning, one and all. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Sajanlal, the principal of the college, the MBITS. First of all, I would like to thank him giving me the opportunity here to talk before you. And I would like to thank Mr. Ganesh for your nice introduction, and the head of the department, Nidish, and Professor Nidish, and Mr. Lomy, the coordinator of this program. So a very good morning, one and all. So I hope this is the second day. Then let us see how it goes. First of all, let me thank all the people, the participants who are here to hear me. Very good morning, one and all. Sir, my screen is visible, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
you can go to the display mode.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm also an alumnus of NIT Warangal.
Sir. Yeah. It's nice of you, sir. yeah. You know that.
Okay, sir. Go ahead. Sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. A very good morning, one and all. So today's talk will be on. This is the second day. Professor Paul might have given good insights in terms of the AM processes and the laser. Okay, so the laser aspects and other additive manufacturing processes. So you might have given insights of additive manufacturing, and my talk will be focusing on the medical applications of additive manufacturing. So predominantly, I'm going to talk on the medical applications of this additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing nowadays, it is a very promising technology, as we know that in Industry 4.0. So the manufacturing is getting shaped into an additive nature. So under this Industry 4.0, so additive manufacturing gaining a lot of attention in the recent times, and the one among the industry looking for the additive manufacturing, say, very seriously, is a medical industry. So then I'm going to talk on the medical applications of this additive manufacturing. So with the outline of my presentation goes in this way, like giving introduction to medical additive manufacturing. And actually, I'm going to share our personal experience with the surgeons, especially in terms of solving the complex cases, so that normally these surgeons will say, whenever they have a complex surgery. So definitely additive manufacturing is the tool which wherever you have the complexity is the major concern of your product. So additive manufacturing is the promising technology which it will give without an additional cost, means the manufacturing complexity is a free of cost. So that is the advantage that we are going to get out of the additive manufacturing than the conventional manufacturing processes. So, and of course, the medical human anatomy, so is going to be the most complex product in the universe, you can say. Why? Because if you see, you have a lot of neurovascular structures in your body. You have a lot of undercuts and a lot of say complex human anatomy in terms of tissues, in terms of blood cells. Right? It's very complex in terms of the product. So if you take a human being as a product, so it's very complex, no doubt in it. So that is the first driving force of this additive manufacturing, is going to be the complexity is a free of cost here. And the second most important say aspect of additive manufacturing, why additive manufacturing is so popular in medicine, is going to be the customization. So even each human being, so each and everyone is unique in his in his dimension, in his human anatomy, and his any organ, any tissue, and any thing, it's unique. So means wherever you have these kind of situations which are looking for some customization, personalization of the products, so then additive manufacturing is going to play a vital role. And of course, so these are the two major reasons why additive manufacturing is so inclined towards medical applications. The complexity in the products in terms of human anatomy, and customization. Each patient or each person is unique in his own geometry and the anatomy. So then let me introduce this technology. How do you get started your medical application of additive manufacturing, with a bit of introduction. And I'm going to share our own personal experience with the surgeons. So how this additive manufacturing is helpful for solving a complex surgeries. Maybe one, maybe the craniofacial surgery. So that is the one of the specializations which you will come across in the medicine is the craniofacial surgeries. So that is the cranium bone that which will protect the brain, the part of the skull that will protect the brain. Typically, you call that portion as a cranial bone. And one case, first case, I'm going to discuss. One of the patients met with an accident and who badly requires some cranioplasty kind of operation, and which he requires a cranium implant. And of course, it's going to be the customized to his own size of the skull, so which we need to mimic that structure. So then obviously it's going to be the customized surgery, and of course the complex surgery also. So then I'm going to talk on the first case as how additive manufacturing is helpful for solving such kind of a complex craniofacial surgeries. And second case I'm going to discuss with you as a dental case study that conventional dental process, especially for fixing an implant. So they will take an impression from the mouth, like they will take a dental cast. So then there will be a lot of challenges through a conventional way of placing the implants. But again, additive manufacturing making things very simple. Then it's more easy things rather than the routine they do. Then that's our experience with the dental doctors, especially for fixing an implant in the patient mouth. That is a mandibular portion, that is a lower jaw of the patient. And then third case I'm going to discuss with you is mandibular distraction osteogenesis. So these words are typically so it might have derived from either a Greek or a Latin. So then these words a bit tough to pronounce. So this is basically a mandible stands for the lower jaw. And then they use a device called a distractor to reconstruct the bone. That's the basic idea. Then this third case, there is one cancerous patient who badly needed the replacement of the lower jaw. So then how this additive manufacturing technology helpful for for such kind of complex reconstructive surgeries in case of oral maxillofacial. This will comes to the oral maxillofacial specialization of the medicine. And I'm going to talk about the fourth case is a cancerous bone reconstruction again. So this is another case study I'm going to discuss with you. All these cases, with the conventional methods, maybe a bit difficult to solve and then how the additive manufacturing is quite helpful for solving such kind of a complex surgeries. And then fifth case is a TMJ joint, that is a temporomandibular joint oncolysis. So that is typically, if you ask any oral maxillofacial surgeon, so that is a very challenging surgery for him to operate a TMJ oncolysis. So that is again the joint of the lower jaw and upper jaw. You have a joint, so that joint is called a TMJ joint. And the last case I'm going to discuss with you is one accident case, which he needs an indigenous implant design and fabrication. Why? Because the standard implants are not worked out. Why? Because he lost in an accident, he lost 5 teeth along with the bone also he lost. If at all, if there is some bone support, then we can fix these implants. But the conventional implants, absolutely it won't work for him. Then the additive manufacturing is playing a vital role to say personalize or customize these implants. So that's what I'm going to talk about the last case. Nevertheless, the additive manufacturing is playing a vital role under the pandemic times, that is COVID-19. So I'm going to give some glimpse of this additive manufacturing under these pandemic times. And then I'm going to conclude with the future, giving a future direction of this additive manufacturing, especially in the medicine. So that's going to be the organ printing. It's going to be a bioprinting or organ printing. So can it be an organ like lungs? That's the most demanded organ under the pandemic COVID-19 times. So then can we replace an organ like lungs or say heart or say liver or kidney, any complex organ that is there in a human being? So can it be say replaced? Can it be printed? Can it be otherwise repaired? So then the answer may be yes, but not immediate now, but maybe down the lane, maybe 5-10 years, maybe answer maybe yes. But the exciting developments are happening towards organ in the direction of organ printing. So that's what I'm going to discuss. This is what I have planned for this maybe another next 1 hour or so. So this is what I have planned for the presentation for you people. So then let us start with the introduction. So probably the previous speakers might have given introduction. So either you call this technology as a rapid prototyping when it was started, coined by the Charles Hull in 1984 and 89 commercially. So he filed the patent in 1984, and then further he started commercializing through 3D Systems USA company. And then that was the journey started with the prototyping. Rapid prototyping was the name coined, but then the maturity levels of this technology goes beyond the prototyping say application. Now it is elevated or it got promoted by the ASTM with the standards F2992210. So they have defined this additive manufacturing as a new class of manufacturing. So it has gone to the manufacturing level, say right from the prototyping to the manufacturing level. And then of course it resembles like two-dimensional printing in case of our say office, say desktop office printers, either a laser printer or a inkjet printer. So of course you may able to print only in 2 dimensions, but this is the technology otherwise called as 3D printing, which can print in 3 dimensions. So you name this technology any one of these names. So then right now we'll be focusing on the medical applications. So it doesn't matter whether it is a medical application or engineering application or a gaming data, or even say, or even it can be a constructional industry, like where you can build the houses also in the recent times, and food also another area where you can get it printed, or food also. So anyway, so it doesn't matter whether what kind of application you're looking at, but bring your data in a digital format. So right now we may be interested in a medicine. So then you start with your journey by taking a CT or a MRI or any digital format of your diagnostic data. So then that is going to be the start point of your say additive manufacturing in medicine. So that is going to be the design. So the digital data is a mandatory here to get it started your say journey of additive manufacturing. So then let us see quickly the applications of this additive manufacturing. So you have the consumer products and consumer electronics around 21.8%. So it's giving a good share towards consumer products, consumer electronics. And second place goes to motor vehicle, that is automobile and automobile together, automotive together, 18.6%. And if you see, the third place goes to the medical and dental, so which is of 16.4%, that is according to Holler statistics. And of course, aerospace is also contributing around 10.2%, and industrial business machines 13.4%, and other applications. So right now we have to understand the importance of this technology under medical application or the dental application, or in general in medicine. So it's going to be the promising figures it is showing here, maybe on par with the automobile and automotive together. So then we talk about say you keep all these you try to keep it in a hype cycle or in a Gartner curve, that is expectations versus time. You try to keep all these applications. So right from the prototyping applications, say then prototyping was the first application. So then it is almost very soon it's going to come to the plateau of productivity stage. So then you have immediately non-critical aerospace component, and orthopedicians are the early users of this medical people. So orthopedicians have been using this technology. This is also almost say coming to say plateau of productivity, maybe another 5 to 10 years. So, and then of course you have a jewelry, you have a domestic printing, and then you have a dental applications under medicine. It's also giving, it's a promising, it's almost like at the most hyped say state. And then you may have critical aerospace components, architectural, sports, education, and bioprinting is like organ printing, like the other name is. So that is also, but this technology, this application, just it got triggered now. So it has to go a long way to come to the productivity stage, but it is very beginning, like bioprinting, medical research, of course, say clothing. So printing of clothes is also printing in construction industry, like in construction, and say in construction again, the huge manpower is needed, and then this is going to be the promising application in construction industry. And of course, military electronics is also recently gained a lot of attention towards this additive manufacturing. So then with this, so let us start our medical perspective of this additive manufacturing. So just I thought like I can give some kind of overview of these applications. So as we know that the medical additive manufacturing journey starts with the medical image processing data. So that is either an X-ray. Now X-ray is also now digitized X-ray is also now it's coming up. So previously used to have only the film that the each cross-sectional images will be printed on a hard film of X-ray, but now you have an digital X-rays also. So then our intention is to get your patient data in a digital format. So then CT is the more say versatile format in terms of computer tomography, so which is a more digital say images which are taken in several cross sections, and which you have a computer backup, or you got a data in a digital format. So in terms of either a computed tomography or a magnetic resonance imaging called MRI. So you can get it started your journey of medical 3D printing, either taking a CT or MRI. So that depends on the region of interest or the region of say study that the doctor have some malfunctioning of a particular patient. So then if it is a bony kind of a tissue, and then you may be advised to undergo a CT examination, or if it is a kind of a soft data, soft tissues, and you may be asked to undergo an MRI examination. So let it be either a CT or a MRI. So depending upon your the area of interest or the area of study where you have a malfunctioning or where you have a defect or a disease or whatever you are trying to diagnose. So then that's going to be the start point of your say medical additive manufacturing system. So then you have those images were taken in a two-dimensional cross sections. So then further it should be processed. Why? Because if you take a particular say the chest CT, so the chest part of a CT of a particular COVID patient, for example, so then that chest part so consists of lungs in it, and then you have the ribs. So you have the ribs, and you have the spine at the back, and you have muscles, and you have even say body fluids inside. So it consists of several tissues at a particular region of interest. At this point of time, it may be the chest of a patient. So then right now, so you want to see the how much infection level that a COVID patient is having. So then you may be interested to reconstruct or to say segregate your tissues. At this point of time, only the lungs, so the soft tissue, that based on the kind of tissue value, that is in terms of Huntsville value or a CT number. So then you can segregate, and you can say region grow, or you can reconstruct that say your lungs at this point of time. So then you can get in virtual model. So then that can be further say transferred to the additive manufacturing machine. So means in fact you have a software, so then it can be exported to that software. So typically we need to start our journey so by taking a digital data from of your patient of the region of interest or the organ of interest. Here it's a lungs. So then you take the CT, the chest CT of a patient at this point of time. So then once you take that data, and then we need to process the data, sometimes we need to do some kind of modification, some implant we need to design based on the patient data which you collected. So it is oftenly say transferring this data, the medical data which you collected from the CT or MRI. So it is obviously say exported into a CAD package. Sometimes we need to do a simulation of the surgery. Say you have designed some say femur ball for a patient, and then you want to check whether that the fitment of it, whether it's proper or not. So then of course you do a simulations even with the softwares, any medical image processing softwares, you can do a simulation kind of a stuff, and then 3D model, computer model sometimes. So it depends on your application. So then you can get your data in an appropriate form. Sometimes say an orthopedician wants to test for the failure of the joint or the failure of the bone that he has designed or is going to augment in terms of implant. So then obviously we need to check against the failures. So then obviously it has to take into the FEM package if it is an orthopedic applications. And sometimes it can be in CFD based packages which we need to, you take a neurologist or you take a cardiac surgeon. So then we need to study the blood flow and the body flow fluid and so on and so forth. So then in that case, what we need to do, so we need to create an interface to FEM or CFD packages also this data. And one step ahead, you want to physically print that model. So then using it for say surgical aid or planning the surgery, rehearsal the surgery. So then you can make a physical model that is through additive manufacturing. You could be able to print this. And of course you can check the design. You want to validate the design. So you have designed some patient specific implant and then you want to validate it whether it's correct design or not before going to the actual real-time operation. So then we need to do a design validations of a particular implant or a prosthetic sometimes. So or some device which you have developed for a particular patient, then we need to validate it. So all these things we can say your start point will be from the patient specific CT or MRI data, and then you can say depending on the application and the requirement, so then you can go to the appropriate platform and say apply these techniques to medical anatomy. So that's broad. Then how do you get these medical image processing? Say you have the tools or the softwares available, like which we have at NIT Warangal. So we are using a software called Mimics. So that is a say medical image processing software from Materialize, Belgium. And you have plenty of tools available in the market. Like you may have a 3D Doctor is another software, and Simpleware. So the cost and the features may vary from, the capabilities vary from one system to other system. Nevertheless, you have a open source softwares also, like a 3D slicer is one among, like which it can which will support the basic level of research. Like say you want to convert a DICOM image. Basically, the images, you have a neutral file format called a DICOM. So DICOM. DICOM stands for digital imaging, digital communication in medicine. So you can use even an open source software like a 3D slicer to say convert your say medical images, the CT MRI images into a additive manufacturing machine understandable format, that is typically an STL file or a AMF or a 3MF file, any format that additive manufacturing machine can understand from the CT data. So then you can make use of any one of these tools available in terms of open source or in terms of various budgets and various capabilities, these tools. Then you can pick as for your requirement. So then you can start your say journey. So, and this is the general procedure, the typical say additive manufacturing procedure that in medicine, as we understood that CT or MRI scan data of the patient, it should start, and it is coming in terms of two-dimensional grayscale images, and further by using say softwares, so we could be able to reconstruct in a three-dimensional model, and then which further it should be sliced into layers. Why? Because additive manufacturing requires some codes to run it. So then that you do that the slicing part. So basically, so you do prepare the code to be send it to the machine. So in additive manufacturing machine, so exactly it's going to be replicated your digital data. Say in terms of say skull, or it can be an implant, or it can be an prosthetic that you are looking at to say make for that patient specific requirement. So then you can make use of that model, the physical model that you have printed. So even need not be a model, even it can be an implant, which it is directly fitting into the human body. So now it's the turn to even print the living cells also. So that's the order of the day now. So either it is an say model for diagnostic purpose, or it can be a surgical model to do a rehearsal on the model, or to say replace some part of your bone or some part of your organ. Maybe it's quite, maybe some prosthetic hand or prosthetic limbs. So whatnot, like say you can make use of this technology for in terms of these physical models that are derived from the scan data. So then with this, say we'll focus on the importance of the physical models. Why we need a physical model? Though you have the computer generated model, you have a CAD model, digital CAD model, digital computer generated model, but still why you're looking for physical model or a physical say anatomy of the patient which it is derived. Of course, a physical model is a physical model. You have a touch and feel kind of say experience, and not only that, say you have some complex surgeries. Say, for example, you take this model, so which this patient requires some implant, that implant, so all the way, so it should say your oral maxillofacial surgeon has to involved in this surgery, and ophthalmologist is also should be involved in this. Why? Because if you're not keeping the eyeball intact unto this orbital rim, and there will be a chance of losing his vision. So then say various surgical teams like ophthalmologist, oral maxillofacial surgeon, and like that, the people may be involved, and then you have a better communication among the surgeons or to the patient. Also, you can very good communicate, educate the patient. So once you have these models with you, which is derived from the patient data, and then it can be any say pelvis part, or a femur part, or a spine, or it can be a skull, or it can be any anatomy that it has got scanned from the scanning protocol. So then you can say physically fabricate them out and then making use of them. So either in terms of say communicating among the surgical teams, or educating the patient, or even it can be assisting for the surgeons to diagnose the say the malfunctioning or the disease, or maybe by trauma or whatever the reasons. So you can they can even do a lot of say diagnosing and surgical planning based on these models. So what kind of tools they have to carry during the real-time surgery, say what kind of surgical devices they have to, say what kind of surgical say instruments they have to. So all that things can be say planned based on this, and even they can do a rehearsal of the surgery on these models, and even they can do a simulation of this surgery, so they can come out with the best surgical procedure never before. Maybe a kind of a innovative surgical procedure may come out say because of these technologies. So thanks to the technologies like which it will enhance the skills of the surgeons. So rather than so like a guess game, or say it's trial and error, no, so it's exact to the patient data that you're going to say use here. And then you can even create a customized prosthetics for say artificial limbs, or artificial any body part that you're looking for and prosthetic. So then you can customize as for the patient size, shape, anatomy, root canal, whatever it is. So that is specific to that patient. So then you can do such kind of and then of course we can accurately place the implant you have designed and fabricated. Like for example, you have designed and fabricated an implant, so the placement of implant is playing a vital role. As I already said, the placement of eyeball, so that depends on the curvature that you have say modeled and further fabricated, and then say that's going to be the vital in case of these kind of surgeries. So then the placement of the implant in intact and the correct position, so it will ensure you that so the level of precision, or the level of the safety of the surgery. So definitely we fabricated these physical models. So still if you go with the traditional conventional CNC milling practice, and there will be a lot of limitations of these systems. The complexity is the major hurdle for a conventional CNC practice, you know that. So in this case, the human anatomy is going to be the supposed to be the more complex in nature. So you have a lot of undercuts, a lot of voids, and internal geometries in terms of neurovascular canals. So that will make very tough for a conventional CNC programmer to write a program. So then obviously you have other side of the additive manufacturing 3D printing is a free of cost, complexity is a free of cost. And of course the materials which you can even have, sometimes these materials may be brittle, soft, and non-sterilizable sometimes. So then you can use additive manufacturing under these circumstances. So you'll give a better outcome under these circumstances. So then let us see like in which spheres of this medicine typically it will be, so it can be used for designing and fabricating an implant, maybe for a chest implant, or maybe for, say, a spinal wedge or a spinal cage. Everywhere. The idea here is, say, how do you get mimic the bone structure, in case here is a bone, and then how do you get mimic the bone structure? Why? Because a bone is more porous somewhere and solid somewhere, and again it really vary from person to person. And within the same person, if you put up age, and then you may have osteoporosis problem, like the bones getting say deteriorated. So but the idea here is, then how do you get mimic this anatomy, human anatomy? Say then additive manufacturing is the best solution in order, under these circumstances, to mimic the bone structure, bone anatomy, say as close as to the patient the native bone, or the organ or the tissue, wherever you are targeting it. So then definitely, say for the implantation, and you have a good number of biocompatible materials. So that is also important here. Like just like that, you cannot implant. It should be an FDA approved material, and should have it should satisfy a lot of biological properties, rheological properties, and of course it should be mechanically strong in terms of taking any loads, or the kind of loads that will fall on a particular bone or organ or wherever it is. So then that is an implant fabrication. It may play a vital role. And planning the surgery, you have some complex, say a pediatric heart surgery. So you have, say, months baby, and sometimes we need to operate maybe then once you have mold, then you have all these ventriculae, and then so you have a better understanding of the patient before he operates. Why? Because if you have any complex surgeries, so definitely nowadays these softwares and the materials are FDA approved, so then you can say without much problems. So certifications, you have a lot of certifications on that, so you can make use of these models for planning the surgery. And then one more beauty is, say, either in terms of aerospace applications or in a medical applications, the lightweighting. Like say, lightweighting is very much needed in aerospace and very much needed for body, especially if you take an orthopedic cast. These orthopedic casts should be more lightweighted in nature. Then how do you get lightweighted? So obviously you have to inspire by nature or by cell biology, basically. So if you see the cell biology, so the cell biology, this is the cellular structure or the lattice structure, so which is of more, instead of making a solid one, so then it's quite easy to fabricate these kind of structures through additive manufacturing. So it is very tough. Sometimes it may be impossible through a conventional processes. So that's another advantage. You can make a lightweighted orthopedic cast for the medicine or for the aerospace. So that is another area where we are maybe looking for lightweighting solutions. But of course, so then you may have even a personalized medicines, like say, especially for the drug delivery system. Say some patient requires these pills in a different dosages. So you can personalize as for that patient requirement in a drug delivery system. So then you can even personalize to that patient's specific needs. So then it can be used as in a drug delivery applications also, need not be restricted to this. It can be a drug delivery applications also. So then as we have been talking about the orthopedicians, the total hip replacement. So I'm going to cover only these three during this talk. So then you may have other applications, orthopedic applications, biomedical devices that you can design, fabricate, biosensors can be designed, fabricated, biomems devices, microfluidic devices, bioseparation, bioprocesses, and augmented tangible molecular models for research and education. Some anatomy class, say needs some kind of skeleton or these kind of, if it is a cadaver bones, the dry bones, there's huge maintenance, or you need to have the liquid to be say the maintenance is very tough. But once you have a CT data of a patient, the entire skeleton can be printed and it will be used. So just either in terms of a teaching aid or research education purpose in terms of these models, and the other side, any complex surgery like conjoined twins, how do you get separated these conjoined twins? You have a common neurons and common say neurovascular structures, then it will become very complex surgery for a surgeon. And even it can be a oral maxillofacial, the facial reconstruction surgeries, craniofacial surgeries. Anyway, we'll discuss this also further, just this some of the literature. And then orthopedic finger joints, knee joints, femur joint, pelvis bones, pelvic part, everywhere. And oral maxillofacial, prosthetics, again orthopedicians. So you have plenty of scope to work these in a medicine space. Then we'll focus on the case studies, the cranioplasty modeling and analysis, the first case study. So this is an accident case. He badly need the cranial implant here. So the biggest challenge here is then how do you get mimic the bone structure? Why? Because the thickness of the skull is not uniform across. So, and then how do you design and fabricate an implant which is fitting, customized to this patient? And one more challenge here is there is a body fluid called cerebrospinal fluid. So that fluid will say generate here from the brain, and it will be circulating all the way to the spine. So if your implant is not intact, then there will be a chance of leakage of that cerebrospinal fluid. So this is a quite say complex, no doubt in that. So then how do you get mimic this structure basically, and how do you get a fitment of this implant to the patient specific, that's the thing. So then you can make use of these tools initially to start with, like modeling of these implants and then fitting it, and then further you can print some trial parts which based on your designs and check for the fitment. So like that you can do. And we have done a kind of a material say investigation in terms of biomaterials, in terms of titanium 64, PMMA, the polymer group, and the PEEK. And then another thing here is, so this is one patient have a non-symmetric defect or a non-symmetric fracture. So then if you are, this is a symmetric defect, you can take the mirroring option in the software and you can perform. And then sometimes, which we need to develop our own methodologies, algorithms to say reconstruct this kind of say implants. We have developed a nerve-based say surface development, and then which it should have the fixation points is also playing a vital role here. Where do you say how do you fix this implant to the skull? The placement of the fixation points, so that will decide your the pressure of the body fluid that is there, so very adjacent to your implant. So then we have done the simulation, we have done the analysis of such kind of studies, and we have published. Say, and then finally we have to mimic, we have to fabricate this implant. So the structure of that implant, say even the skull, to see the anatomy of the skull, you have the inner, it's not a single uniform across the cross section, the skull. So you have the around 1 mm, say thick, the inner bone and the outer bone around 0.5 mm thick, and in between you have a spongy kind of or a porous kind of say structure. So then how do you get mimic, how do you get fabricate this kind of a structure, this kind of a sandwich structure? So then additive manufacturing is giving a promising technology to mimic this kind of geometries for the patient requirement. And then the second case study I'm going to discuss is dental implants. And then how do you make use of this, let's say, technology for implant placement? Say the challenge here for dentist here, say you see this patient, he needs two implants on the mandible, that is on the lower jaw. Typically what they do in a conventional practice, they will take an impression from the mouth. But the challenge here is there is an inferior alveolar nerve. So that nerve will be passing, say, from the condyle, and it will come here, and then it will touch from the mental foramen, and then it will go on the other side of the condyle portion of the mandible. So then if he over drills, and there will be a chance of cutting this nerve, and then the orientation, the size, the length of the implant that you are going to use, that is a most important stuff here. And more or less these are the standard implants it will come, say, and then say how you are going to get the nerve information if you take an impression. So if you take the impression, you will get an outer surface, but you cannot get the information about inside nerve. So then the additive manufactured models will give you a better understanding of that nerve position, and they can use their standard, say, dental drills to drill a hole, and then what could be the pilot drill size and the actual drill, the length of the drill and the diameter of the drill, orientation of the drill. So all that stuff can be done, mock surgery on this. They can practice, they can rehearsal that on these biomodels, which is derived from the patient data. And of course, even it can be, say, based on that design and the fabricated implants, and then they can straight away during the real-time surgery, so they can use that the drill sizes which they have already used on that say biomodels which is derived from this patient. So in that way, so it will be quite handy in terms of the precision of the surgery that takes place. So then the next case I'm going to discuss is an mandibular distraction osteogenesis. So this is say one a girl, there is an abnormality, the abnormal growth of the lower jaw, that is a mandible portion. And then how do you get say reconstructed for this case? So an 8-year girl, which you can see the abnormality here, the bone not grown properly, and because of that the normal opening is not attained, that is say 5 to 6 centimeters is a normal opening, but even she could not able to get it that. And then of course, which you can see the deformity of the bone that she had. And so by birth she had such kind of a problem. The bone has not grown properly, that's the issue. And then we took the CT data, and then further we processed in the mimic software for getting this say reconstructing this in the 3-dimensional models. And further they use a device called a distractor. So what they do is so they will say guide this the bone growth through this distractor device. So then there is kind of a screw kind of a device. So then so how much length it should be stretched forward, this bone, and how much it should be getting twisted. So all that stuff will be calculated. So on these biomodels, the idea here is, so you take this biomodel and then they can do those kind of calculations, the vector calculations. This is a normal healthy patient should have a semicircular kind of say geometry, right? But which we can understand that the abnormality even from this the model that is taken from the patient and get it printed. And you can see the other view, like where this ramus height is it is also supposed to be in that say the length of the ramus, the height of the ramus should be the same, but which you can see, then which we need to stretch forward and then we need to twist it. So that kind of stuff will be done, say by using that kind of a distractor. But they can do those kind of things here based on this patient data, on this model, say then, which we can see. So after this is the initial previous to the surgical transformation, and this is during the transformation, the surgical transformation. This is a distractor she's having, which you can see, but still we can find some kind of it's not 100% symmetric. Still we can find some abnormality or some deviation. Of course, the bone growth will be there up to vigorous up to the teenage. So then teenage, once she turns into 18, 19, and then the final correction should be done. So right now it is overcorrected at this point of time. So then it should be done. So in this way, like where you have some kind of complexity in terms of a conventional surgical procedures, which you may not be able to attain the actual geometry, size, shape through the conventional methods. So definitely this will help you in that direction. And the next case I'm going to discuss you is one cancerous bone reconstruction. So this is otherwise called as the ameloblastic fibroma of mandible. So this because of the cancer, which you can see in the lower jaw, because of chewing the tobacco products, say, which you can see there, this is which anyway we need to cut this portion. So cutting this portion and then should be augmented with some implant or some kind of thing which it should be. But if there is no implant, then what they used to do previously, forget about the implantation, and they may do a bone grafting. Basically, they may take the fibula bone. So you have knee to ankle. There are two bones. One is the tibia, so that is the main load carrying bone, and you have God has given us a spare, that is a fibula bone. So they will take that. Normally they take that fibula bone, do bone grafting, and they will try to get it that shape. Obviously they could not. Why? Because that cannot be grafted as like the curvature or the form or the geometry, the dimensions that the original bone it's having. So so then we started just taking the CT data and then further. So now where we need to cut the cancerous portion, and then how do you get say mirrored this from the survived side to the say defect side, and then how do you get say mirror, and then after cutting that, and then we designed and we fabricated initially with the polymer, and then these are the designs, and we need to give the nerve relieving thing also, because you have that alveolar inferior nerve, so which will come from this condyle portion, and it will go touch this mental foramen, and again it will come back. So then we need to give a provision for that nerve passage in this implant. So this is what the additive manufacturing will play here. So even you can mimic the porous structure in order to have osseointegration. If it is a solid block, so your osseointegration may not happen. So in that case, which we need to even make use of this additive manufacturing capability here to mimic or to get these kind of cellular structures or porous structures to further enhance the kind of situations here. But we have struck up with several clearances that we need to take while implanting this. But at least what we have done for this at this point of time is, so we have given these models for, they have gone for the conventional bone grafting. In fact, say then this is the steel plates they do on that, and then they use a bone grafting. They used bone grafting here, keeping that as a, say, what you call your steel plates. But this surgery, they said that it's not successful. Why? Because So then they are asking us to revisit the surgery. Why? Because we have already had that designs and the fabricated implants. But we have other case after this, we have successfully implanted. Then after going through all the procedures, the clearance is taken from the ethical committees and other regulators to come into this kind of thing, and we need to send the video recording of these surgical procedure to them, and then there will be a lot of procedure to be followed once you implant it. And then this is the case we have been successfully implanted. This is a temporomandibular joint ankylosis, that is TMJ reconstruction. The TMJ reconstruction is the complex surgery for a oral maxillofacial surgeon. Why? Because that joint, that is lower jaw and upper jaw joint, that should be easily freely articulated. But this patient, by birth, she had that fusion of this joint. So, but luckily one side is okay, but other side is got fused by birth. Then, which we need to operate here, and then even it will go in a 2-level surgery. The first level surgery, the alignment of the teeth also, like when normally that is distraction osteogenesis procedure, they will bring forward the lower jaw and it will be aligned. So then that is the surgery which we need to do first, and again start with the CT data and then reconstructing the images. And this is what I'm talking about. This got fused here, the joint got fused, but luckily other side is free, but only one side got fused. Yeah, and then this is what I'm talking about. The first level surgery, the bringing forward this, which we can see, this has become the integral part of the joint. So that is the problem, and of course this should bring forward also. Why? Because she had say anyway we are going to cut here for again reconstructing this joint manually, or now with this help of these tools, and then further fabricating it, and then how much it should bring forward. So this is what I'm talking about. Then in this case is 19 mm is come out for this case, and this is a distractor they used during the surgery, and then slowly it will stretch forward. So this is the initial condition, and after stretching forward 19 mm or so, then which you can see the alignment now. So it got aligned now. So this is during the surgery, the same thing has done. That is the rehearsal of the surgery, and this is during the surgery. And then this is after the surgery, where you can see that previously it was in this way, and then now it's got aligned. And the major part is left out. That is, how do you say reconstruct this joint, the TMJ joint, cutting that, say the fused part of it, and then. So then again, thanks to this tools or the softwares and further additive manufacturing technology to, so then this is which we need to cut here. And then we can, what we have done is we have copied, we assume that the symmetric nature of the other side, the survived side and the condyle portion we cut, and then it is say copied the same dimension, form, everything is got copied, and this is the design in which we further printed with polymer initially, and then our aim is to make it in metal implant. And then this is the fossa or the disc portion where that condyle will come and sit here. So it will become a joint articulation. So then it should be, so then this is the what you call your fossa or the disc portion. And this is what I'm talking about. So see from the say maxilla side, this zygomatic arch, and this is the disc that is on the maxilla portion, that is on the upper jaw, and from the lower jaw, then which we need to say design, fabricate, and then we need to. This is going to be the assembly of the joint. So we have removed that fusion, the fusing of that joint, and freshly by assuming that other survived dimensions, and this is what it looks like. So then this is the one, and they are going to fix this implant on the upper jaw side and as well as lower jaw side also. So this is what it. So and then we have designed one guide also for the assisting the drills while say fixing the screws onto this. Say then this is a patient specific guides, not only implant, even guide can be used while say operating it. So that's and then I was there during that surgery, and myself and my PhD scholar, the JRF come PhD scholar, and is Professor Ryan Gibson from Australia. Actually, we have a GIAN a course. We have a collaboration with Professor Ryan Gibson, and we work this as a collaborative effort. The we have done the designing and everything from our side, and it got printed there in Australia. So then we fixed the surgery time during his visit to India, and then during that time, which it was performed. And once you can see this, what you call. So once it got released, the fuse right from the birth, like 21 years. So she has been suffering in that way, like without, say that got fused in this way. Now at the moment it got released. So now the opening, normal opening, say 4 to 5 centimeters as that it just happened. So right from the birth, she has been in that way. She used to take only the liquids, not even, so why? Because she could not open mouth even at all. So then, whatever we designed, fabricated that implants, it is say fixed during the surgery. This is real-time surgery on the upper jaw side, and this is from the lower jaw side, and which it got say fixed during the surgery. So now you can see the patient condition. It will come, I don't know. There is a video here. Yeah, which you can see now. She could able to open her mouth in a regular normal opening, normal biting, normal chewing force she has attained now. So then in that way, these technologies will enable it will improve the societal life of the people, like otherwise she has been in that way over the past 20-21 years. Then we took risk, actually, means like let it try. If it clicks, okay, then she's going to get a better societal life than never before us. So the past 20 years she has been in that way. So then in this way, which this technology is quite helpful for solving these kind of cases. And the last case I'm going to discuss with you is this is an accident case which he requires a kind of indigenous implant. Why he needs indigenous implant is, say this patient has met with an accident and he lost 5 teeth and along with the bone got damaged. The upper jaw got damaged and then he lost the 5 teeth. And if at all, if there is some bone support, and then 1-to-1 implants can be fixed. But there is no chance here to fix that standard implants which is available in the market. And then obviously we need to have some nerve relieving option should also be ensured here. And say this is an what you call asymmetric fracture that is also there. So then the standard implants that are available in the market won't work out here. So then we need to design and fabricate an indigenous implant, customized, personalized implant for this case. This is what I'm talking about. These standard implants may not work out for this case. Then we have come out with keeping the severity or the available availability of the space or the bone that he has, and then this is the design of the implant for that. And this is it is not a symmetric design. Why? Because he had a asymmetric fracture. So based on that, we need to design the implant, and then we are tested for the failure of this implant by finite element methods, and then checking the placement and fitting it. And then further we printed through additive manufacturing. Initially we printed with the polymers. Of course, the model, the skull and the implant also initially got printed with the polymer based additive manufacturing systems. And then we have given this to the surgeon to rehearsal this fitment of this implant onto this say bone. And then after that, then the 5 teeth are unable to accommodate, but 4 teeth are accommodated in this way, so it will be there. And then this is before the actual surgery. The mock or the rehearsal has been done on this patient specific model, as well as the implant which we designed and fabricated. And finally it got printed in titanium 6.4 powder bed additive manufacturing system. These are with supports, and after removing the supports and doing post processing, sterilization and all that as per the FDA regulations, so then that is used during the say surgery. So which you can see the real-time surgery, how it got fixed. This implant, this is a permanent implant, it will be there forever. So then this we have published in one of the reputed journals called Rapid Prototyping Journal, the case study. And then like which you can see at the backside of this teeth, and you have this the positioning and the placement of this implant with a handheld X-ray right after that say surgery, which you can see. These are the conditions. Then you can have several cases that which requires some kind of say complexity in terms of these surgeries, maybe some tumor, abnormal growth of the tumors, or by birth some cleft cases, or some head injuries, so on and so forth. In which wherever you have some complex, which the conventional way of doing may be a bit complex, and then definitely additive manufacturing will come into the rescue to make it simplify these surgical procedures. And let us focus sometime on this COVID-19 pandemic times, how this additive manufacturing will be helpful. Of course, in terms of PPEs, maybe goggles, masks, shields can be customized, and these designs may be available even with the hospital community or 3D printing communities, which you can download them as a free of cost. And then further, you can want to customize it also. You can customize as for your size and shape and things like that. So then you can, it will make more democracy in the manufacturing scenario. Like we do not go to a shop floor, or we do not go to any casting line to get it done. This just you have a desktop printer at your home, so you can print it from your bedroom itself, right? So from these kind of things. And where pandemic times or the times, the hard times, which you may not be able to access the normal routine or say shop floors. And then even it can be the not all the patients requires ventilators, as we know that. So then people may be looking for some kind of alternatives for the ventilators, maybe supplying the oxygen through kind of exhaling devices, maybe PEEP kind of devices, and further the masks for that particular device. So the oxygen will come from this, and then you have the FO filter, and then you have these masks, and these are customized as for the patient requirement. So in that way, which this technology is quite helpful for even under this say pandemic times, so which it can be used. And even it can be a respiratory kind of a mask valves that are the venturi valves, oxygen valves for the ventilators, or in terms of when splitting the ventilator, serving, like say, can have one ventilator can be served in 2 patients or maximum of 4 patients with this splitters, the ventilator splitters. Also, people are able to design them and print them and making use. And of course, it should be an FDA approved materials and the designs. But thanks to the FDA people, they are giving a fast track approvals for these kind of designs and these kind of devices, or the spare parts for the ventilator or respiratory masks or anywhere. And nevertheless, like for the rapid test for in terms of printing a nasal swab or oral swabs. So these nasal swabs, which these designs may be available across the 3D printing community or additive manufacturing community or hospital community in general. You can download this design. So then once you have a desktop printers like this, then you can print them in a single batch, maybe around 150, 200 swabs, so that can be printed. So if you have, you can carry these desktop printers. It's a SLA based Formlab printers. These are, so you can take it to the on site where you need to do these rapid tests. Then you can take these printers there also. Then you can get it printed, and then you can use in that fashion. So in that way, it can be helpful for. So let us conclude the talk here by giving the future direction. Of course, that is going to be an organ printing. Like so far, we are talking about the either bone replacement, hardly, which we have been talking about right from the beginning. Maybe an orthopedician, or maybe some oral maxillofacial surgeon, or a craniofacial surgeon. Basically, they work with the bones. So the bone, depending on where it is located, it may take a mechanical loads and some extent some cyclic loads somewhere. So it's basically it may take only the loads, mechanical loads, but if you are targeting it to an organ, so then definitely it's a challenging one. We need to retain the functionality of particular organ. So if you are targeting it, so that is a challenging one, but nevertheless the efforts are on. The people are a lot of breakthroughs in this direction, like in terms of printing these organs, cells, or the tissues, which they will the material. What could be the material here? That is the next point in our mind. It will come. So then, what kind of material you are going to use it for here? Then definitely it's not a synthetic material. Definitely it is a natural material, and of course it may be a living cells. So that may be taken from the own patient. So if it is some cardiac ventricle or any other organ, so they might have taken from this organ itself, and they may do a multiply. They do a cell cultivation, and then they may prepare a kind of a ink, a bio ink, or by adding some nutrients, proteins, and then cultivating them, and then which again it's bringing back into the patient, say, organ. Again, it starts with an MRI or any diagnostic protocol that we come across. So then you use that and add nutritions on the natural materials plus your own blood cell. So then you are introducing back into the patient body. So in a nutshell, like organ printing is about, you start with extracting a cell from the own body of a patient, and then you multiply these blood cells by adding the nutritions, proteins, and do cultivation, and you have an incubator. You create such an environment to grow these, to cultivate these cells, and then you test it for a kind of properties like mechanical properties, rheological properties, biological properties, and so on and so forth, before you implant before you replace a particular organ, say. So it can be in any organ. Most demanded organ under the pandemic times maybe lungs. So it's possible to repair the lungs or replace the lungs, get it printed by his own blood living cells or so. And then what is the state of art? Even maybe some bladders already been printed, and then skin is also already been printed, and blood cells also already been printed. And talk about kidneys or livers or lungs, heart. So definitely there will be several challenges. It's more complex organs which you can code, but skin, bladder, blood vessel, relatively it's less complex organs or the cells or the tissues. But it once you are targeting to the complex organs, then definitely there will be several challenges that it should be addressed. So yeah, I think let me summarize my talk. What we have been doing for the past 1.5 hours or so. So we started with the medical scanning technologies. That is the start point of this medical additive manufacturing journey. And then you start CT or MRI scan data. And by using some medical image processing software, mimics VaxM or 3D slicer, so then you could be able to reconstruct those images into additive manufacturing machine understandable file formats, and further generating the code for the additive manufacturing machine. And then virtual models, maybe some extent you may use, but you're not satisfied with virtual models. Further, you can make a physical model to have a diagnostic models, using it for diagnosing purpose or pre-planning surgeries. Just we have discussed real-time case studies, how these models helpful for planning the surgery and even customizing the implants. The cases which we have discussed all are customized implants, and of course the prosthetics also can be extended the same thing. And the medical devices may be an implantable devices or non-implantable devices, like tools, guides, templates. So you can very well print them through additive manufacturing. And then supporting devices also, like arm braces, knee braces for an orthopedician. So it can be also done with these additive manufacturing. And then under pandemic times, the COVID-19, so additive manufacturing, that also we have talked about. And then finally the tissue engineering or the organ printing, that of course that's going to be the future technology, future application of this. So but it should be addressed several challenges in that direction, but several breakthroughs also coming up in a recent times in that direction. So I would like to acknowledge a few people here. So we cannot do independently this kind of a research. Why? Because it is an interdisciplinary research, and purely it is the requirement, or the end user will be the surgeon. Obviously, then we would like to acknowledge our team of surgeons under oral maxillofacial surgeons, the Shekhar Reddy, Dr. Shekhar Reddy and Aditya Mohan from Panniya Dental Sciences and Research Center, Hyderabad. And for dental cases, we would like to acknowledge Dr. P. Mahesh, the prosthodontic and implantologist from Narayan Dental College in Nellore. And the financial support given by the DST and SCRB in terms of two project file numbers. We would like to acknowledge the financial support given by the funding agent. Last but not the least, of course, the UG, PG, and my PhD scholars who directly involved in these cases. So yeah, I would like to acknowledge each and every one who are all involved in this research. In the cases, the PG boys of their medical PGs also, we took a lot of input from them also. So we would like to acknowledge all the people who are involved in this work. And coming to the facilities we have at NIT Warangal, so we have we are the first people to start an additive manufacturing course, first time in India. giving an MTech program, the specialized program, 2-year program in additive manufacturing. Then we established a world-class lab in that direction. So we have a metal 3D printer that is a DMP Flex metal 3D printer from 3D Systems of powder bed system. Is a laser-based system. And then Stratasys make dimension model and Mojo model for polymer printing, and Ultimaker is a desktop-based polymer printer, and a couple of scanners for scanning purpose, any scan and sense 3D scan, and muffle furnace for post-treatment, the post-processing of these metal 3D printed parts, and short pinning also for post-processing equipment for the metal printing parts. And then softwares, we have a Mimics software, we have Magic software, we have 3matic software, we have a Catalyst software, and we have a 3D Expert software, which is exclusively for additive manufacturing. Yeah, and then we have a YouTube channel also. If you are interested, you can subscribe. I will paste the link in the in the chat box. So if you are interested, you can visit the YouTube channel also. Then I will be stopping here, and then I will be handing over to the organizers to have any questions and clarifications based on my talk. So I am very happy to address those queries. Yeah, it's over to you, sir. Hello.
Thank you, Dr. Ravikumar. Sir, that was amazing. From boundary construction to organ printing, that was such an amazing, magnificent, intriguing educational talk. And apart from your talk, thank you for the amazing research work that you've been doing to help people, especially the 8-year-old kid. So we are honored to have you here. Now it's time for the audience to ask questions to Dr. Ravikumar. So you can post your questions in the chat box and we'll be asking. So make use of this opportunity. This is perhaps one of the best talks we've ever organized. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So we'll be taking questions from the audience.
Yeah, sure.
Just a second.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of questions. So
Hello.
yeah. So we have a question. Can we design a sensor which can identify the nanoparticles? And that's first question.
Can you repeat? Actually, could not follow. 1 minute.
Yeah. So can we design a sensor which identifies the nanoparticles?
Sensor? But this question is away from my scope, which I can talk you. But sensor you are talking about? Sensor. You want to design some sensor to particle? Can you see that question? The chat box that is there, na?
Yeah, it's right there. And other person
Sensor,
asking,
yeah.
can we use the lab facility with your permission?
Yeah, sure. You can use the lab facility. Right now, once this come to the normal condition, like still we are not open all the labs in the campus. So definitely it can be accessible. Yeah. So I can take up this question 1 minute. The sensor which identifies the nanoparticle. But I am not sure like what is his intention. Can you elaborate?
Clarify that question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, so we have another question. So is PhD in additive manufacturing preferred in Indian or foreign universities? now know that you have a course at NIT Warangal, the first of its kind in India. So the person is asking how is the scope of PhD in additive manufacturing in India and abroad?
Yeah, of course. It's upcoming technology, like where a country like India still we are lagging, say, as far as exploring this technology. But definitely there is a huge potential for this area in the upcoming years. So yeah, it's a huge potential to work in these areas. No, actually here I'm addressing this question again. The sensors is asking, can we design a sensor which identifies the nanoparticle? Yeah, so yeah, you can design. A design is not a constraint here. Like, no, can you elaborate what kind of, what is the minimum size of a particular feature? The minimum size of the feature in your product. So anything you design it, obviously it can be printed in a more functional way, no doubt in it. So whether it is a sensor or what is the size of that? Can you elaborate? Then I can tell you like what.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for giving me a chance to ask the question. My question is that design, whatever you are right now, you quoted for surgical and everything. My question is, can we be without going for replacing all these things, whatever the prevention with that mask or whatever the shields we are doing, can we make more precise kind of a sensor based thing which can abstract, which can go for giving an indication that it is a nanoparticle size particle that it is approaching us?
Yeah, actually, honestly, if you're looking for a nano-sized parts, definitely it's not take such kind of sizes. Additive manufacturing, as of now, it can take with the scales of micro-sized. That is not all the AIM process will go up to the micro-sized components. Say process like a 2-photon based VAT system, that is going up to the micro-sized parts you can design and fabricate. But rest of the AM systems, it may not produce that size, which is a meso size only as of now. But still, the technologies that it is coming in the recent times, especially for the electronic applications, that is just this technology triggered, the application got triggered in the electronics. So that will shows the definitely the size of the parts that is getting fabricated maybe in the upcoming years. It's quite interesting, even reducing the size further, nano size also. But as of now, this is not meant for this technology is not meant for the producing a nano parts or even micro parts also. Micro parts, very few machines or very few technology. One technology is a 2-photon laser based technology. It can produce a micro-sized things. But nano, as of now, no, it cannot. Yeah.
So we have a question from Joshua Thomas. He's
Okay.
asking whether one would need a medical background to get started with this field.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's an engineer.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, it is an interdisciplinary kind of a research which we need to understand the domain knowledge of medicine makes, especially for the anatomy and bit of medical domain knowledge also needed to establish an application in this area. We need to the what you call the medical domain expert knowledge, the medical knowledge also needed, domain knowledge is needed very much. Yes, we need to get started in this area. At least the terminology and the things may be a bit tough to understand, but definitely it requires an anatomical kind of knowledge which we need to gain initially, and this domain knowledge is needed to gain for further proceeding for designing and then fabricating aspects of these medical devices or medical implants.
So we have, thank you for the answer. And now we have 3 questions from Abhishek. So he is asking, during your experience, has there been any situation where the surgery has gone wrong? And he's asking if that's the case, if something has gone wrong, what are the steps that are to be followed immediately? Maybe an implant goes wrong or something like that. And the concluding question is, if it can happen in future, like the same person is asking, then what will you be doing at the moment to prevent that from happening? That's the question from Abhishek.
Yeah, very good question. Even I never thought that kind of. So far so good. We didn't come across such kind of situation, but definitely we need to double check while. So it's not the routine things which we do, but definitely it is life-saving. Say practice. Definitely we need to. So first of all, we need to stick to the regulator, the FDA approvals for in terms of materials or anything should not getting contaminated while say printing it, or which we need to take care about all this stuff, and then sterilizing these implants, or we need to follow all that regulations and the kind of things they laid by the regulator this thing. So then so far so these are the things which we implanted regularly. We are following these cases for follow-up of things, the cases also happening for the say 3-4 years onwards. So then we are regularly following these cases for any kind of side effect or any thing it's happening. So definitely if something goes wrong, then we will be under the say threat, or say we are responsible for that kind of mistake or anything which goes wrong. But yeah, it's yeah.
So, and we have a question from Associate Professor Senthil Gavaskar, and he's asking, how is this technology going to impact the manufacturing sectors in India? And he's also asking, has AICTE taken any steps to introduce this course to engineering colleges? Of course, we have it at NIT Warangal, but to other engineering colleges in general. So there are 2 questions. How is this going to affect the manufacturing sector in India? And also, has AICTE introduced some measures to introduce this course to other engineering colleges?
Yes, so let me answer the second question first. So AICTE has already say given the approvals for what you call the concept of giving a degree, BTech degree, minors. Say for example, if a BTech mechanical student has joined, and then you can have a freedom, a flexibility. You can say 21 credits of additive manufacturing related stuff you can incorporate in your curriculum, and then you can award him with that 21 credits of thing as a say BTech in mechanical engineering with the minors with specialized in additive manufacturing. So say deemed universities, so they have already started from this year. So they have, as we know that a new education policy is still opening more flexibility in terms of offering such kind of a courses. Probably you may come across even not only additive manufacturing, even they have opened for all this 9 thrust areas. So 9 thrust areas, one among is additive manufacturing, or otherwise called as 3D printing. So you can approach AICTE people. They have laid the policy. The policy is already laid by the AICTE to give a BE honors or a BE minus with additive manufacturing as specialization. It's already there. Yeah, 21 credits is the, or otherwise they are giving some kind of flexibility if you want to convert even MTech mechanical, if you're not able to fill the seats in that direction, even you can, if you could be able to even offer additive manufacturing exclusively BTech course also, they have approved in the recent times. You can even check with the ACT policies. Recently, the chairman was even, I think it is already there in form of written form also. It's already, I know a couple of universities, the deemed universities, they have already framed the syllabus and it is getting started hopefully by next academic year. They are going to getting started by next academic year. So that is about the ACT then taking this kind of technologies to further these 9 thrust areas. There's one among the two. And you have robotics also under mechanical, say specialization. You have other data sciences, cyber security, IoT, and other cloud computing, data analysis, and other thrust areas. So then that is very much is there. The ACT is encouraging such kind of courses. Yes. So, and coming to the first question which you have asked, that is how it is getting influenced the Indian manufacturing sector. Yes. So Indian manufacturing sector, if you see, then I can say that the biggest users of this AM technology in India is the jewelry. Actually, the jewelry industry, they're using in a big way, but still like aerospace, but still I know that at least we can find out. Maybe the next speaker may be from aerospace and he's a defense guy, so he may be able to give you the insight of this additive manufacturing technology as far as defense, aeronauticals and aerospace is concerned in India. So definitely, as I can say that it is not encouraging, like if you compare with other countries, but we are very good in terms of casting industry, and then the tool making practices in India. We are, but the adoption of this technology, the additive manufacturing, and the Indian industry scenario, but it is not happening like it is happening somewhere else. But in India, definitely it is a promising technology to integrate with the tooling industry or integrating with the automobile industry. Even they have these facilities in the recent times, but still it should be further adapted. The adoption of this technology in India is lagging behind. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And in the recent times, aerospace, like people like GE or people like Boeing and the Airbus and automobile also, even maybe a limited run production, but still it is not open to the mass production. So then that may be the other constraint, which then if your mindset may be a mass customization, it's a very good tool for mass customization rather than the mass production. So yeah, still that that may be the one what you call the hurdle for this technology further say adopted by the Indian industry, maybe. Yeah.
Sir, we have a question from Ebin KS of Mechanical Engineering Department. So he's asking whether we could develop additive manufacturing facility to heal the human body instantaneously, like we see in science fiction movies. How close are we to this technology?
Yeah, definitely. Which we need to make body parts instantaneously. Yeah, like it may be possible, but not now. It may take at least 10 to 15 years to come to a particular stage of this bioprinting or organ printing still getting matured. Maybe definitely it's going to be such kind of a thing we can expect maybe down the line, 10, 15 years maybe.
Yeah, at least that gave an insight. So a lot of people have been raising hands and everything. So if you have a question, so we are concluding the session, so you can ask it in the chat or the comments below, both on Facebook and Zoom, if you're watching from any of these platforms, and we'll be, yeah. So once again, Doctor, we are extremely glad that we had this talk. It was really informative, and thanks for the amazing result you've been doing to help people. And if you don't have questions, I think we can just conclude the talk. So before I invite our HOD, dear sir, for the word of thanks, I think Dr. Sojan has something to say. So he is unmuted. So, sir, please.
Ravikumar sir, namaskar sir. And it was really an exciting and unbelievable talk, sir.
Thank you.
Your technology into this medical human aspects and giving life for many people who are, having a lot of sufferings, and how the technology has improved. And I can say that so much large audience were staying throughout your program, and whoever is coming was continuously attending. That itself is a token of appreciation with no doubt about this. And also, sir, I'm really glad that NIT Warangal, particularly being an alumnus of NIT Warangal, it's also, you're also taking the lead. So, and also we'll see, sir, in future that how we'll be able to collaborate either as an institute by MBITS or any of the participants who are getting benefited out of this. I'm really once again glad that impact on this. And also our previous speakers were telling that this is going to be a disruptive technology by which it's going. And also your prediction in maybe in 15 years down the line, we don't know what are the improvements which can even happen also. Sir, on behalf of everyone over here, namaskar, sir, and thank you very much. And over to Nidish. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
So now I invite the backbone of our mechanical engineering department, our beloved HOD, Professor Nidish Eldhose, to express the gratitude on behalf of the Department of Mechanical Engineering and the entire MBITS family. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ganesh. Hope I am audible to all, right?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So we have reached the end of yet another interesting session. Now I take this opportunity to put my gratitude into words. On behalf of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, MBITS, and the entire institute, I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to our keynote speaker, Dr.Y.Ravikumar from NIT Warangal, for taking his precious time out and consenting to be today's keynote speaker. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your inspiring and motivating words. I'm sure that all the participants have taken note of the knowledge you have shared regarding the medical applications of additive manufacturing. And we are all really wowed by the information you shared regarding the development of additive manufacturing technology in this direction. And we are hoping to hear in the near future regarding organ printing also. Thank you very much, sir. Wholeheartedly, I must thank our principal, Dr. Sojan for his support and guidance for organizing such an event. Thank you, sir, for encouraging all of us. We have been fortunate enough to get the support of the faculties and the staff of MBITS for making this function successful. I thank all the participants for their presence this morning. Heartfelt congratulations to the coordinator, Professor Eldhose, Lomy, his organizing team, and the volunteers for your hard work, which has made this webinar a success. So it's time to bid goodbye for now. Let's meet again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Bye. See you.
Thank you.